Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to see you. It's good to have you here. And Lisa just coming here, but you know what? She could take a back seat because we've got Cre HaiHaPhung in the house. And Cre, first question for you. Your thoughts on this season. When you look at what you guys have done, you're regular season champs. You win the regular season last week down at on Saturday down at Pacific. You're regular season champs, 26-2 on the season thus far, 13-0. You've won 20 straight games. And you're just on fire. You're 15th in one poll, 16th in another poll. You are the NCAA Team of the Week this week for the third time this year. Talk about this season and what it's been like.
Sometimes when I think about it, it leaves me a bit speechless, but I'm so proud of this team. It's been an incredible season. Our non-conference schedule has probably been one of the toughest that Gonzaga has had. And the way we ended non-conference, I couldn't be any more proud of this team. And then just taking that non-conference and continuing with that energy through conference, and hopefully we continue to have that and finish strong. So yeah.
Well, it's been a tremendous year. Is there a favorite game that you've had? I mean, look, when you think just this year, I'm going to talk just this summer, just this season, that you've had the game against Stanford when you beat Stanford by 18, and the game when you had the 19 threes comes to mind. But is there a game that stands out more for you than anything? You had a double-double against Pacific, your first career double-double. So anything that stands out for you?
I would probably have to pick the Stanford game at home. It's crazy because we watched our recruiting visit when Gonzaga beat Stanford on home court was our official visit. So it was really nice to see that, and it's just like come full circle.
Really?
Now they come back on our last year, and we got them.
Oh, what a game. That's going to go down. I've been doing this for 20 years, and that's one of the top 2 or 3 games probably I've ever seen, too. So some questions from the audience. What are you planning to do after graduation? And unfortunately, you are going to graduate. You have that 5 years. You both have 5 years, and we can't get you for 6. So what are you going to do after this next year?
Plans are still in the air right now. Hoping to sign a contract somewhere, probably overseas, or just continue my basketball career as a professional somewhere.
So what are you majoring in? And then after basketball is over, what do you see your life being like?
So I did my undergrad in human physiology with a minor in psych, and then I'm currently doing my master's in organizational leadership. Lynn and I joke all the time about wanting to get into coaching, just staying close to the game, but if I were to go and have to be in the workforce, probably something in sports psych. It's always interested me, and it's become an important field nowadays, just to keep athletes, their mental straight and good.
That's a good point, because what you guys go through now, I mean, you're student athletes, so you're students first, you're athletes second. And then all the pressure that's on you with the social media, with everything that's going on. And it seems like there's more. There's TikTok and all this stuff that I have no idea what it is. But it just seems like there's so much that's preying on your mind, and there's so much that could be negative content coming at you from day to day. So it's got to be hard to find a right place in your mind.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one way to look at it, we're full-time students and full-time athletes, so somewhat of like a professional job as a basketball
absolutely
player. And so just being asked to show up and give our 100%, it can get tough at times, but it's nice to have a good support system. I mean, just hanging around my teammates every day is what helps keep me separate basketball and on and off the court stuff, and just being around my friends, talking to my family. We text each other 24/7.
That does surprise me. Yep.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's nice to find some sort of balance, keep from going crazy, I guess.
You just mentioned that the support and everything, and you two players, Brenna and you, the support of your parents has just been awesome. I mean, your folks try to make it to as many games as possible, and I know that we had a couple of those games down in Houston and in Nacogdoches last year, and your family was close, and so they would put on parties for the team and whatnot. And how important is that to have the support of your family?
So important to me. They're the ones that made me who I am today, and they've dedicated so much time and energy for Lynn and I to get to where we're at, and so we just hope to continue to pay them back by making them proud and continue to do great things and represent our family in a way that will make them happy.
A little personal story. It was a couple of weeks ago, and right before one of the games, and Kaylee comes up, and right before the game, and she's going to go out and have a shoot around. And I mean, the game's like half an hour away. She goes, "Here, Steve, here." She gives me this big tub of rice that her mom had made for me and everything. And I thought, man, that made me feel so good because I felt part of the Trong family, and I appreciate that.
Hope you liked it, Steve.
I did. I couldn't wait to get home. I was drooling during that whole game. But I want to ask you, you are such a good shooter and you're such a good passer. What's more important to you? What would you rather do? Would you rather hit a three-point shot, or would you rather have a great pass to a teammate?
I like to think of myself as a pass-first guard. I wouldn't mind taking a dime, throwing these no-look passes and stuff, and those make me happy because that's what basketball's about. Not to say shooting's not part of it, but basketball's a team sport. You sharing the ball is what make the game so much easier, and I'd probably take a pass.
When you're just talking about that, it brings back a memory of the very first time that I saw you guys play, and that was in that the practice before we start season, and one of you had an alley-oop to the other one. And I was thinking, oh, this is great, man. These are going to be some fun times ahead, and thankful goodness that there were some fun times ahead. You guys have really put on a show, and I know everybody loves it.
Thanks, Steve.
So I want to ask you another question. Best trip as a Zag, and we've gone on some pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we traveled nicely, and is there a trip that was like a highlight for you?
Man, I'd probably say Europe this year, not to take away Europe my freshman year, which I'm very fortunate enough to get 2 trips into my career, but probably this year, seeing Croatia it left me speechless. Greece was already, I know everyone says how beautiful Greece is, but Croatia is probably one of my favorite spots to go. Just a beautiful country. Being able to spend time off the court with my teammates and, getting to know each other right before season, building that chemistry off the court definitely helps. Translates to on the court.
Chemistry is a good word for this team. I mean, a lot of people say, well, what about this team, Steve? And I hadn't thought of the word chemistry, but that is great because you guys work together, you have fun, and it's not all about, okay, I want to score more points than somebody else on my team. I don't think you care who's the leading scorer on the team as long as you get the victory and fun. I mean, a lot of teams plod through the seasons. I look at you guys' face out there, and you guys are out there having a good time.
Yeah, no, it's been a really fun season. Everybody's level-headed, understand what the team needs at that moment, and we're always hungry to improve, especially on our defensive end. Our offense we put up insane numbers. So just looking on the defense side, the thing that I like about this team is that we dial in. We know what we have to work on. We know that we have to improve in certain areas, and nobody's shying away from the challenge.
What's impressed me is that the West Coast Conference seems to be down a little bit this year, but you guys, a lot of times when you're playing a team that's not as good as you can have a let-off. You guys don't ever have a let-off.
Absolutely not. We sat down as a team and said, this is a season that we want, a very successful season, but in order to do that, we can't play down to certain levels.
Right.
So we have to hold ourselves to high standards. I know the coaches hold us to high standards, and to be able to be at the top, we can't go back down. So show up to every game and do our best, play the way that we want to play, and prepare. These games will help us in the future. So we can't let up.
Kaylee, it's been great having you here. It's been great watching you all through the seasons. I was talking to both these players before, and next Wednesday night is going to be senior night. I hate senior night because it's the last time that these players are going to be playing at home, and it's always, you get tears in your eyes. It's always emotional, and this year I think is going to be even harder because there's been so many good seniors that are going to go out this way. But Kaylee, thank you so much for joining us. When we come back, we'll talk with Brenna Maxwell.